Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com, out here for another gear review, and today, talking shoes, these guys right here by Lems, which are the Trailblazer. If you follow my content, you have probably seen Lems before. Whether it's a standalone review of some of their different shoes, or loadout videos from courses, competitions, something like that. Yeah, wear a lot of Lems. Kind of slowly making my way through their catalog. They honestly, they do a great job for me. They're one of not very many like minimalist shoes. And when I say minimalist, what do I mean? I mean like zero drop, wide toe box, like for a naturally formed foot, and yeah, stuff along those lines, to include generally really lightweight. So they ended up coming out with these. I was like, yeah, I would like to try those. Especially, I think this color actually looks really good. And yeah, I've put in a lot of time with these. So I guess I'll tell you kind of about these to begin with and then how I've used them. Things I like straight out the gate on these shoes is you have a wide natural toe box for like a normal foot, like room for your toes to be spread out and not just all smashed in together. As far as this top part, it's this mesh, which is actually really light and breathable. And then one of the things I do actually, well, one, these are a zero drop. They do have a thicker sole than some of their other ones, kind of more on that later. One thing that is nice though is this probably has one of the most aggressive treads of kind of any of their line, especially any of their like shoe line versus some of their boots. But this tread's actually pretty aggressive and does a really good job. This, however, back here does have a heel cup, unlike say your Primal 3. And yeah, I mean, still pretty flexible as far as shoes go. But yeah, I guess I'll tell you how I've used them. I've definitely worn these quite a bit just around town, things along those lines, but spent a lot of time actually on the range with them too. They've shown up in some loadout videos, most recently I think at the 3-day, what was it, mid-range rifle down at Thunder Ranch. And yeah, nothing too crazy. Definitely a little bit of hiking up to basically a ridge where I did some shooting and stuff from that. Did great for me. I will say I actually do really like this tread more for time in the backcountry. By way of example, here I am, that ridge back behind me, climbing up and over that with like a 40-pound pack. Pretty nice. In part, this is, not only is it aggressive, but it's also not super hard. Because the thing is with hard things versus another hard thing, i.e. hard tread on top of a hard rock, you end up slipping. Like that does not work well. And so being able to have something fairly soft, it actually grabs really well, especially coming over like granite boulder fields, things along those lines. I will say, I don't think I ever have, probably won't ever, work out in these. Like, no. Like there's so many other better limbs, to include the Primal 3s, for actually working out. These are probably one of the thicker shoes that Lems makes. And I think I mentioned it, Trailhead, I think was a previous shoe that they made, which actually has a narrower toe box. And it really, while it is zero drop, really comes across more as like a normal shoe for someone looking to just buy a shoe, versus someone more into minimalist footwear, where this has a much wider toe box and things like that. Having said that, this is definitely a more rigid shoe than like their Primal 3, for example. Does it matter? Well, I mean, it does in the sense that in the gym, I'd rather just have a Primal 3, which, I mean, it's almost like being barefoot. Having said that, coming over that ridge with a 40-pound pack, don't necessarily want the Primal 3. This actually did a really good job for me, make me not feel every single rock I was stepping over. But again, just kind of different time, different place. These do have a heel cup, which I think I just mentioned. I don't mind it out here hiking, backpacking, stuff like that. Don't like it day to day for no other reason than I honestly just like slipping on Primal 2s or 3s now, which don't have a heel cup. Literally, you just slide your foot in them, pull it up over your heel, and you're done. Never tie your shoes. These you do need a tie. And I will say for me, the laces are probably like 2 inches short on either side. For no other reason than I like to generally like not double knot, but it's kind of similar as far as the way you end up tying it, to where it just requires a little bit more lace, but it is what it is. All of that said, who do I think these trailblazers would be good for? Well, one, people that are actually like minimalist footwear, i.e. that zero drop, wide toe box, but maybe need a little bit more aggressive tread, especially if you're going to be hiking, backpacking, stuff like that. This will definitely check that box. Or maybe people looking at getting into minimalist footwear. So if you haven't worn minimalist footwear, chances are you probably have some sort of shoe with like tons of giant padding, cushion around your heel, a bunch of arch support, all kinds of stuff to basically brace and hold your foot, which is great right up to the point. It does it to the extent that essentially all your muscles, tendons, ligaments, everything like that down in your foot that's made to walk and balance and do all those things doesn't really have to work anymore, which consequently can lead to a bunch of other problems because your foot's not really working the way it's designed. So this essentially allows your foot to work the way it was designed. And with that in mind, though, you definitely kind of want to break into it. Like, you don't want to go all in. It'd be like just walking out, going from your, I don't know, like Reebok, whatever, to being barefoot forever. And definitely going to be some growing pains. So I think this honestly probably helps bridge the gap if you're actually going from like conventional super cushion supported footwear to some sort of minimalist shoe. And like I said, yeah, wide toe box is great. Like, let your toes spread out and breathe some. But if there's something you're interested in, there'll be links down below. You can check it out. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time. Gangsters and thugs, criminals and